Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for a SUI FET and render price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. We're gonna see what's going on in SUI and what happened yesterday night. Of course, we were expecting to move towards the upside, right? We are expecting a bull run, and of course, happy to see it moving for higher. However, of course, there was something here yesterday, like it was kind of like a trap before signaling that this move is gonna unfold towards higher prices. It was signaling a little bit for a more correction here. It was showing some weakness, of course, and showing a lot of overlaps. We're gonna dive inside it and we'll see, of course, what happened and how it has transferred to something very bullish. However, for SUI here, we start on the 4-hour chart where you might have, of course, here a wave 1. Wave 2, of course, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 1 or a wave A. You have wave 2 or a wave B, and you're looking here at 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now, the wave 3 taken here from this wave 1, 2, of course, you have already reached it here as in the orange scenario as a 1, 2, 3, and 4. And currently, you're unfolding the wave 5 in the orange scenario, which it is already in the blue box, of course, for this impulse here to be done and finished. And of course, we need to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So one more leg toward the upside is very likely before, of course, start to correct toward the downside again for a wave 4 in case we are bullish. In case we are, of course, in a wave 1 here, in wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, we're still looking therefore for a wave 4, right? We would like to see 3 ways down and 5 ways up. If we are in a wave C here as an A, B, and a C toward the upside, you would like to finish over there inside, of course, this box where you have finished the wave C as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're gonna start to see something very impulsive toward the downside. Another scenario and possibility here is, of course, a zigzag for a wave W. You have an X here and you're looking for another zigzag for the wave Y. In double zigzag complex structure might, of course, as well unfolding something towards the downside. So those are the possibilities for SUI right now. Now let's move to this question mark where we saw, of course, a very weird price action yesterday. So basically, if you are in an impulse here as a wave 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. So, you have to consider, of course, this move as impulsive motive wave, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now, basically, during this move towards the upside, I'm going inside it even on the 15-minute chart to see it much more clear. You have here kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a good thing. It's a good start. Of course, you got an ABC wave 2. But after all, you got a lot of overlapping, of course, here, and you got kind of like invalidation of any kind of impulsive wave. Because if you are impulsive here, you would like to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, right? Let's say this is a wave 3, yeah, which is impossible, right? Because wave 3 should be only an impulse. It's not allowed to be a diagonal, okay? Because this is a diagonal here. And then you got, of course, a wave 4 here potentially in case you are in 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Let's say it is a bigger diagonal, right? 4 and a 5. Therefore, your wave 5 is longer than your wave 3. Plus, your wave 5 is a zigzag, but here you got kind of like, let's say even it is a zigzag, okay? You cannot have also such a diagonal in between zigzags, right? For a diagonal. So it's not allowed, of course, in all scenarios here, of course, that this is a motive wave. So it is definitely something corrective, followed by 3 waves as well, but unfolding a very massive move toward the upside. What a move, right? So very, very tricky. It's a big trap, honestly. Even I myself felt in this trap, okay? The trap was, of course, after diving deeper in what happened here, because this is a corrective wave here, after looking, of course, in the back history here, you have the only potential impulse as a wave 1 over there. And this is your wave 1, and what happened after it is of course an ABC here for wave A. This is all corrected for wave B, and then of course having something even 1 2 3 4 5 for wave C as a running flat. Very ugly, of course, and very tricky. It's a big trap here before launching this bull run again. And A, B, and a C, of course, as you can see, 0.618 has been taken. Um, yeah, so it's a little bit a little bit tricky here, and of course, I mean, when you see something like that, definitely you are corrective, right? You will never think that this can be a wave 1 here, and then having a big wave ABC turning into running flat before taking the low. So you are expecting to take the low first, of course, creating something else and then moving toward the upside. But this did not happen, right? So, yep. So the things are sometimes, of course, not as well as we want it to be. So, yeah, here we go. We move toward the upside right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I'm so happy, of course, to see it unfolding. I mean, this is what I was exactly expecting. But, yeah, why the traps? So yeah, very tricky here. So basically, you have right now a potential wave 1, ABC running flat, and wave 3. What you are expecting next is a wave 4 and a 5. I'm expecting anyway a wave 4 to be very deep, because the wave 2 here as alternation is a running flat. A running flat is a very shallow flat, and that means of course you might get a very deep wave 4. It might be a zigzag here, and it might be of course taking a little bit more time. So what I mean here is that your wave 4 might start, let's say, from this wave 2, or sorry, let's take it the lowest point from this target. So wave 4 as an impulse, you are looking for at least the 0.23 here, 3.8. And based on the timing, of course, it's gonna need some time. Based on, of course, this time for this wave 2, we're gonna see something like this. Okay, so it might take a little bit more time here to unfold, of course, and to see something there. We're gonna see, guys, what's gonna happen, but basically this is right now the potential scenarios that we have on the 15-minute chart. Of course, currently we are finishing as ending diagonal here. We have an ending diagonal to be finished as a wave 1 2 3 4 and a 5. Well, even I would say 1 2 3 4 and a 5 finished there, so I'm not sure what is going on. Even still, why still moving for higher? Potentially you have like several 1 2s somewhere here inside it, like several 1 2s finishing for 5 4 5. But yeah, also take it into consideration that this might be a big ending diagonal as well, like 1 2 3 4 and a 5, because you have a wave 2 here, 1 candle, and wave 4, 3 candles. Yeah, so it's already alternative. Yeah, so basically it's finishing up, of course, something there, whether several 4 5s or, of course, the ending diagonal, and we start to proceed, of course, with this wave 4. Yeah, so I'm expecting, of course, a lower prices a little bit due to this weird running flat here as a wave 2. A, B, and a C, and then moving, of course, towards the upside. Currently, I'm expecting as alternation for this one at $3.7 at least for SUI. Okay, so that was it for SUI. Let's move to the next one, which is FET. For FET, honestly, I don't see really a good performance for FET. I don't know what happened there and why it went very deep again after a 1 2 3 4 5 for a wave 1, potentially wave 2 finished. You would like to see continuation toward the upside, but this was not the case. The wave 4 again invalidates this impulse as 1 2 3 4 5. Now we were estimating again, what if we have another wave 1 here, but you don't have even an impulse. You have an A, a B, and a C, so we cannot consider even a wave 1 here. So very weird price action, and of course you can see here that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Only one impulse toward the upside after an A, B, and a C. Zigzag. And this makes it, of course, a running flat. This running flat, which it might turn this wave 2 over there. As I mentioned before, it can be that this is your wave 2, and now you start to move toward the upside 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very tricky scenarios, of course, inspired by Sui, yeah. Because of course, if you're wondering what's going on here, therefore, yeah, there is no other solution. And inspired by Sui trap with a running flat, so this is of course can be a potential scenario. Otherwise, you're still looking for lower. How? By W. You have a clear W here. You have an X, and you're looking for 3 ways up, 3 ways down, and of course an impulse to finish a wave Y, meaning simply another zigzag or flat here, double structure, and an X in between, and then you're looking for to take even this low. Very, very weird for FET, honestly. I don't see a really nice performance. Yeah. Now, the bullish scenario, the only really bullish scenario that you might have, which is very rare as well, is an expanding flat where you have a zigzag for a wave 1, you have a wave 2, you're looking after a wave 3, which it might be expanding, okay, wave 3 here as an expanding diagonal. Expanding diagonal. Here we go. So we have, of course, potentially the common targets might be there, but this is like the most rare case scenario, guys. Okay, that it might expand like this. Okay, like zigzags, and then moving down, it has to, of course, hit the zone 1 in this case, and then moving up again very massively in another zigzag. So it should look like really massive, like shark teeth, yeah. Which is the most rare case scenario, but of course we have to keep it in mind after what we see in the market right now as traps and as rare scenarios unfolding, like running flats as well for a wave 2. So that is very interesting. On the 15-minute chart, we are looking right now still at an impulse, of course, because in bullish and bearish you want to finish as this impulse toward the upside. I would say this is your wave 3, this is your wave 4 here. You're still looking for one more leg, wave 5, to finish potentially a wave Y here, okay? In case this gets like a little bit expanded, so I would say, okay, it might reach at least the uncommon target 1 to 1 fib level here, somehow like this, okay? And in this case scenario, it might start to give a signal that this shark teeth here are unfolding, yeah, toward the upside somehow like that. Yep, so this is what I would like to see, of course, for FET. The next one is a render. For render, we are looking at the following also prices here. On the 1 hour chart, for render also we have a question mark, the same as for Sui. Very, very weird. And another trap to show. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, wave 1 or wave A, B, C, D, E. So basically here you have kind of like a clear triangle after an impulse, and you might be in, yeah, in highest possibility, you might be, of course, in this A, B, C. And we have to be careful because we are there, we finish it almost, and in 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 4, and a 5. And this, of course, is very close to the 1 to 1 fib level, where you might have finished, of course, a wave C. Finishing an A, B, and a C, meaning corrective, and you're moving towards the downside. So we have to be careful with it, of course. Unless you get, of course, 3 waves down for a wave 4 here. Yeah, in case you are in an impulse here as a 1, A, B, C for a wave 2, do not consider this as a triangle. Okay, you consider this as 1, 2, another 1, 2, A, B, C, and then having 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Currently, you need to finish the big wave 4, right now. 4 and a 5, 4 and a 5. Of course, you would like to reach around this area, okay? For this wave 5 to finish a wave 3 in the yellow, and then for 5 in the yellow later on to finish a bigger wave 3 in the blue. And of course, target for this scenario where you have a big wave 1, 2 here is a 1.618, for the wave 3 in the yellow 4.73. Yep, so basically this is in overall, but be careful, of course. We are currently finishing potentially a zigzag, okay, because you are there. On the 15-minute chart, what you might have here is, of course, a wave 5, one more leg towards the upside, where it might finish up, of course, this wave C, wave 3, and then, of course, we seek what's going to happen after it. You see here clearly, of course, a triangle, wave 5 to unfold still, potentially for higher after 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now the question mark comes here next, like this is also another trap for render where you are looking, okay, here perfect impulse, wave 1, everything is fine, wave 2, and then you start again, 1, 2, and you're looking for your wave 3. Now your wave 3 is, let's say, 1, 2, and you would like to see a wave 3 toward the upside. Now your wave 3, there is no at all any other wave here that it is not overlapping with the previous one. So all the waves here are simply overlapping again together, and I don't see any wave 3 at all unfolding here inside this price action, which is very, very weird, very tricky, and I never saw this before, honestly. And I'm talking here that I never saw this before like this, and seeing, of course, an impulse, yeah, which is very weird. Therefore, I'm still doubting that this might be like something impulsive, very impulsive. I'm afraid that this can turn to something like W, X, and a Y potentially, and then moving toward the downside as a big expanding flat. So we have to also be careful from this, because I still don't trust this wave 3. I don't see any impulse inside it. And of course, the wave 3 is not allowed to be any diagonal here. Somehow like this, or let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Anyway, wave 5 longer than wave 3, and everything is, of course, overlapping again. So very, very weird. And of course, if you want to consider like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, that is of course overwhelming 1, 2s here. It's a very, very rare case, and you have even like several ones. So that's too much. I don't believe so. So it might be, of course, much more corrective than impulsive. So yeah, a lot of question marks, a lot of traps that we saw in this area, showing that this move toward the upside is a corrective. FET is still showing a little bit weakness. I don't see, of course, strengths. I don't see something impulsive. So I'm wondering what's going on in the market, why we get those signals. Why do we get it? Is it something for bearish later on, or something corrective? Yeah, more correction, that it might turn into a bigger correction before the proceeding toward the upside. So this is a question mark that I have still wondering how we get the answer. Of course, simply more data. Once we get more data, we get more answers in the next analysis. That was it for SUI, FET, and Render. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye.